Get full episodes of The Damage Report as a podcast on iTunes and Android, and you can watch the live show every weekday on YouTube TV. The gubernatorial race between Ron DeSantis, Andrew Gillum, again, like many others, super high profile, very tight race, and very important. And since the primaries ended, has been marked from an incredible amount of just casual racism being thrown Gillum's way by DeSantis. We're gonna go through a little bit of that, but this actually came up at their debate last night. Here's an interaction they had.
Mr. Gillum, I'll give you a chance to respond now.
Well, let me first say, my grandmother used to say, a hit dog will holler. And it hollered through this room. Mr. DeSantis has spoken. First of all, he's got neo-Nazis helping him out in the state. He has spoken at racist conferences. He's accepted a contribution and would not return it from someone who referred to the former president of the United States as a Muslim, N-I-G-G-E-R. When asked to return that money, he said no. He's using that money to now fund negative ads. Now, I'm not calling Mr. DeSantis a racist. I'm simply saying the racists believe he's a racist.
Mr. DeSantis, if I would ask the audience.
Man, there are some people I would not want to debate against. So Ron DeSantis, during that answer, even before he got to the great line, obviously, that I want to focus on, looked like a combination of mad and kind of sad, and then obviously did not like it at the end. And since then, by the way, I believe Laura Ingraham has said that that's not a fair thing to say. They always try to say that. But I'm interested in reality. This program is one that is interested in reality. Does anyone doubt that what Andrew Gillum is saying there is true? That racists in Florida definitely think that Ron DeSantis has their back. Now, that response where he says, a hit dog will holler and all that, was in response to Ron DeSantis acting all indignant about these accusations that he has said racially insensitive, or I believe the term is racially conservative things, which is a great turn of phrase. Let's go back through just a few of the things. There was mention there of money being given, but in addition, back in August 29th, on an interview on Fox News Channel, DeSantis described Gillum as articulate while arguing that his policies would hurt Florida, warning, the last thing we need to do is monkey this up by trying to embrace a socialist agenda with huge tax increases and bankrupting the state. Okay, so again, as we said at the time, who uses that expression, monkey this up? I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is a little bit odd that you say that he's both articulate and monkey this up. I mean, I guess those are technically code words, but the code is pretty easy to crack. And the Washington Post revealed last month that DeSantis had spoken 4 times at conferences hosted by the David Horowitz Freedom Center. Horowitz has said that African Americans owe their freedom to white people and that whites are the victims of the country's only serious race war. And so again, this is a thing where you do have to look at what the individual politicians are saying, but you can also look at the people that they choose to associate with. This has been the case with Congressman Steve King recently, who has spoken favorably about politicians in other countries, by the way, that have said incredibly racist things. I have a feeling they probably know a little bit about who they're endorsing. So there, he is speaking at a place that is, is based on this sort of weird ahistorical racism. He is accepting money from racists and refusing to give it back once it's revealed. He's making these sorts of comments that are pretty obvious. And throughout this election, as we showed yesterday, white supremacists from other parts of the country have been running robocalls and radio ads that are racist as well. We played one for you, we're not gonna play it again, but it purports to be Andrew Gillum speaking in an incredibly stereotypical and racist way about blacks in Florida. So I think Andrew Gillum's approach is, I think, a good one. He is standing up for himself. He is making it clear who Ron DeSantis is without making the campaign about that. You get put in a pretty terrible position as an African-American politician where you're supposed to just accept this sort of racism. And if you complain about it, if you make a big deal out of it, you are in fact attacked for that. I think he's walking a very careful line here. At the end of the day, I don't know how much it matters that you accurately depict Ron DeSantis as a racist. I think that the people who are gonna vote for him in Florida, I think very few of them will see that to be a big negative, I think. And that is sort of what Gillum was getting at there. In addition, he is doing, I think, more outside of the racism to tie Ron DeSantis to Donald Trump. In this particular case, that has been a very easy case to make because as we showed you, Ron DeSantis is the guy that ran that ad of him reading Donald Trump's book to his son and having his kids assemble a wall. Oh my God, I can't believe how quickly you guys got to that B-roll. But like Ron DeSantis wants you to believe that he is indistinguishable from Donald Trump. Now, the question is, in Florida, does that actually help Ron DeSantis? Or does it actually help Andrew Gillum? Gillum seems to believe that it is a net negative, and so he has been going out of his way in every area he can to tie the two together. It's going to be interesting to see when it comes down to election day if that actually works. Now, the latest polling we have yesterday, Gillum was up at 51 to DeSantis's 46. So I believe that was a Gravis poll. Just 12 days out from the midterm, he's up by 5. There's a lot of polls though, and at the end of the day, we really don't know. We were talking about that in the interview about Beto O'Rourke. Turnout patterns appear so far from both the primaries and from the early voting in this general election to be different than they have been historically. Midterms are typically very low turnout elections. That does not look like the case. In the primaries, turnout in many of these cases was as high as it was back during the 2016 presidential election, an election that many people were invested in on a daily basis. So it's going to be really interesting to see. Will somehow the shy Trump voters who supposedly aren't telling pollsters how much they love people like DeSantis turn out, and then this poll turns out to overstate Gillum's support? Or will Democratic turnout be as big as the indications appear to be at this point? We'll have to wait 12 days and find out. Thank you very much for watching this clip from The Damage Report. If you liked it, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and ring the bell on YouTube to get notifications of our new videos. And of course, you can catch the full Damage Report live every weekday at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on TYT Network on YouTube TV.